Friends, I, Captain Vivek Jain, welcome you all to my sixth episode. From our discussion so far, we have established that investing in equity shares of a public limited company essentially means that we have invested in a business that is ours. And today we shall precisely discuss that. What do we mean by our business? Friends, this is my presentation. Our business. Our business in which our share is proportional. What does proportional means? As many shares as we are holding out of the total share capital of the company. It could be as much as 50% or maybe 30% or 10%, even 1% or 0.1% or maybe only 0.001%. But the fact remains that we are owning that much proportion of the said business. Isn't it a wonderful idea? A magnificent facility? A superb method of owning a business without creating any kind of infrastructure, without purchasing any land or shop or any property, without setting up any kind of plant or machinery, even without buying any raw material needed for manufacturing, even without employing any kind of staff or labor. All in all, with a nil infrastructure from our side. Owning a ready-made business which is running smoothly, which is growing for us, earning for us, paying us dividends, selling its products all over the country, and many even all over the world by exporting. And I have the option open to me to invest more and increase my share in the company, or sell and realize my funds, sell if not wholly or partly, so that I can use the money for any contingency that I may have. Proportionally, of course, I own the business. It's a total flexibility that I am getting merely by buying the equity shares on the market, owning a business proportionally, and having all benefits under me. And a business which is run by none other than experts and professionals. Friends, going further, I can own not one or two, but many good businesses. Apart from receiving regular dividends every year from my business, my principal original investment also appreciates. That is known as capital appreciation in the stock market, which is again caused by demand and supply and reckoned by you and me. Not only does it appreciate, it also beats the inflation monster. I do feel myself at the top of the world. Yes, indeed, we all can be in that esteemed position with no tension, with no headache, no active work, no involvement in the business. And yet, I'm owning businesses, many of them, and earning. And that is exactly what you can achieve by investing in equity shares in the stock market. Friends, now the question comes, will that possibility become a reality? Yes, of course, it can become a reality. But how? We only have to choose our businesses carefully. We have to convinced, yes, with conviction, thoroughly, that yes, I want to do this business. For that, few more things are necessary. We have to do initial groundwork. And what is that groundwork? We have to study the company. the business performance of the company so far. We have to foresee the future prospects of the company. It is only then we can invest, and then it's only then we should invest with our own decision and discretion. And at this juncture, I might just remind you again, we cannot believe in hearsay. We should not ask others, hey, you tell me what business should I do? What shares shall I buy? It's like, a shopkeeper when he intends to start a new business. Does he ask others? No, he doesn't ask anyone. He or she will decide what is best for them. And how do they decide? They will decide what will sell the best in the given location. They will judge what will earn profit for them in the surrounding market scenario. It is just similar to that. Owning a business in stock market and accordingly purchasing those equity shares which will earn money for us. It is you who will decide which business or businesses you wish to be in. So friends, with all the discussions done till now, it is quite clear to conclude that buying of equity shares means owning a business, partly maybe, and that business has to earn, has to show profits, so that it can be distributed amongst all the shareholders, amongst all the so-called owners of the company. And also the business should grow, should prosper, should develop, and keep earning and continue earning profits. A business which should generate employment in the community, a business which should be able to pay taxes to the government, a business which should be able to produce goods necessary for the society, a business which should participate in enhancing the economy of the country. All in all, a business which should propagate all-round prosperity for every section of the community. And how did this business take shape and start, if I may ask? It is as simple as that. I'm reminding you again. When a group of people got together, decided upon the nature of business, contributed money, formed a company, allotted equity shares amongst them, the initial owners, the initial promoters of the company, so to speak, and embarked upon the venture. However, at this stage of birth, capital formation is of utmost importance. To explain very briefly, money is needed for the infrastructure. Buying or renting a space for the business activity, buying plant or machinery needed and installing it, employing technical staff, employing skilled and unskilled labor force, purchase of raw materials and goods, installation of electricity, purchase of tools, equipment, other environmental necessities for employees like air conditioning, ventilation, safety aspects, the leisure and the various other needs which a labor employee in the workplace may need, so that they are able to work in a safe and sound manner. Marketing the produce for a ready and profitable sale is the most important aspect of the business, and the cycle of business thus goes on and on and on. In a financial year of 12 months between 1st April to 31st March, the gross profit which a company earns is used for meeting various expenses, salaries and wages of the staff, the employees, the loans which the company have taken from financial institutions, from banks, or from any other source, their interests, taxes to the government of India, and it's only then that net profit is reckoned and declared. The board of directors who represent the promoters and the owners of the company will then decide. Of course, all their decision will have to be approved by the shareholders. They will decide to distribute a portion of the profit as dividend amongst the equity shareholders as per the proportion of shares which they are holding, and plow back or reinvest the balance profit in the business. This is necessary for future growth and development. All these factors and elements are displayed for the shareholders to study in the balance sheet, in the profit and loss account, and financial ratios of the company. All these financial instruments and documents we will definitely discuss in our forthcoming episodes. So friends, in our next episode, we shall discuss in brief the contents of the balance sheet, contents of profit and loss account, the contents of various financial ratios and what they mean, and show how we should interpret them. Friends, with this discussion today, if you have gathered knowledge, please do subscribe to this channel. Mark your like, offer your comments in the space provided, put in your queries if any. I will definitely try and reply to all of them. See you again soon, friends. Have a nice day.